Everybody all set for a good show tonight? Alright, so we're going to start the show rolling right along. This first comic coming to the stage. He's new to the New England comedy scene, but is making a name for himself in short order. You're going to enjoy him. Please put your hands together for Mr. Matt Berry. Let's hear it from Matt Berry.
Yeah, so how's everyone doing tonight? As Greg said, my name is Matt Berry. If I look a little young, it's because I just graduated college. I went to school for film, got a degree in film, opened up a lot of opportunities in retail and food service. My parents were never big on the idea of me going to school for film. They were like, Matt, don't go to school to make movies, not gonna work. So it's always really awkward when I run into them now. Fortunately, it doesn't happen that often, only in the morning when I come downstairs for breakfast. I live with my parents, and I moved back in with my parents. I live with my parents the second time, which is different than living with them the first time. When you live with them the first time, you know, you're their kid, they love you, they have to, it's the law. When you live with them the second time, though, you're not their kid anymore. You're just taking up space. My dad doesn't even introduce me to people as his son. He's just like, hey, how you doing? This is my daughter Megan, and this is Matt. He's the reason I have a pool table. It's tough living with my parents. I can't do a lot of things I like to do. Like, I smoke pot. I cannot do that at my parents' house. I actually smoked pot before this show. And on the way to the show, I stopped at this stop sign, waited for it to turn green. And then I realized I wasn't in a car. I do like smoking pot. I don't like smoking pot with middle-aged people, though. I work with a lot of comics who are in their 40s. A couple weeks ago, me and this comic were smoking a joint after the show, and I didn't know this, but when middle-aged people get high, they talk about deep, important shit. They talk about things like mortgages and divorce, and I'm just sitting there next to them like, man, I saw the fastest dog the other day. Now, I understand child support's a bitch, but this thing was so fast. Sometimes I get too high to drive. I don't know if you've ever done that. It's different than getting too drunk to drive, because when you're too drunk to drive, you know, you're seeing double, your timing's off, you're making bad decisions. When you're too high to drive, you just forgot how to drive. I'm sitting in my car like, what the hell is all this shit? My buddy's in the passenger seat like, that's the jack in the spare tire, get out of the trunk, we got places to go. I ran out of pot recently. I started smoking the resin, which I'm a big proponent of smoking weed. I don't consider weed a drug. I don't think people who smoke weed are drug addicts. When you're smoking resin, though, you're doing drugs, man. For those of you who are on the brighter side of life, resin is like the crap that's left behind after you smoke pot. It's like a weed byproduct. It's the baloney of weed. It's disgusting. And you smoke it for the same reasons you eat bologna. You're just broke and trashy and like, drug dealers should sell resin, but they should only accept food stamps for it. It's one of those jokes that works in places where people have money. I told that in a dive bar in Concord, and they were like, don't say that about food stamps. I like smoking pot, but I don't like doing harder drugs and stuff. Cocaine, LSD is not for me. Tried them a few times. I like smoking pot. Gives you a goofy kind of high. You know, you're friend, you watch TV, maybe you'll talk to your dog. But LSD gives you that kind of high where your dog will talk to you. And he'll say things like, hey Matt, if you do the Macarena enough times, you can get into heaven. And you believe him because you've never heard him speak before. Why else would he break a lifelong vow of silence not to tell you something wildly important? And so you start dancing, or rather you think you're dancing, but what you're actually doing is you're scaring the shit out of everyone at your little sister's birthday party. There are some plus sides to living with my parents, though, namely all the free food. Love eating my parents' food. My dad hates that. He hates how I love eating all his food. And it's getting to the point now where he and I won't even eat the food in the house because we're hungry. We'll just eat it so the other one can't. I came home the other day, my mom had made meatloaf. I don't like meatloaf. My dad loves meatloaf. I ate the shit out of that meatloaf. He walked in, he's like, I thought you hated meatloaf. I'm like, I don't like it, but I like meatloaf more than I like you. It's like a battle. I'm eating his meatloaf, he's eating my spaghetti, I'm eating his heart attack medication. Yeah, who's laughing now? Not him. He does get some blood clot. Some of you didn't laugh. I don't know what kind of support group you thought you were coming to tonight. Well, I was like, I want to go to the comedy show. You're like, no, honey, we're going to AA. I smoke cigarettes too. I'm trying to quit. My parents trying to get me to quit. They always tell me, Matt, if you stop smoking cigarettes, on average, you add 7 years to your life. And I was like, man, that sounds great. And then I realized that that 7 years isn't going to be 7 more years of 20s. I'm not fighting any battles for years 92 to 99, all right? Nicotine addiction can have those, because that's not going to be 7 years of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, is it? No, it's going to be 7 years of dementia and nursing homes and pee, just so much pee. That's not the future I had envisioned for myself. No one was ever like, Matt, what do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, 95, drenched in piss. Frantically reading the obituaries to see which of my friends died that week. And I'll be married to the girl of my dreams, but she'll have fallen down in the next room and she can't get up. And I want to help her and call 911, but I can't remember the number because I'm old, that's what happens, yeah. I said earlier I graduated college, so I'm looking for a job, need money. I tried donating sperm recently. It was very awkward. Turns out Salvation Army doesn't take perishables. I gotta get like a grown-up job though. I gotta get a job with benefits, which means something different now than it did when I was 16. When I was 16, a job with benefits meant the manager had a nice ass and I wasn't gonna get drug tested. Now it's like vacation time, 401ks. But so I applied for a job at this company called Tom's Shoes. Is anyone familiar with Tom's Shoes? Yeah, if you're unfamiliar with Tom's Shoes, the whole premise of their company is that for every pair of shoes you buy from them, they donate a pair to a child in a third world country, which sounds really sweet. But it would be slightly more sweet if the leading cause of death in third world countries wasn't famine and war, and was in fact sore feet and a lack of style. Hey, yo, we're not gonna fix any problems, but we're gonna make them damn trendy. Being a grown-up's tough, getting a grown-up job's tough. I eventually got a job at a dry cleaner, and I was pretty good at it. They made me the manager of the dry cleaner, and I got to hire a staff for the first time in my life, which was awesome. I actually interviewed this kid. He came in for the job, and he hands me his resume. And on his resume, 17-year-old white kid from Women, on his resume it says October 2010 to October 2012, Target sales floor. And beneath that, his only other work experience was April 2009 to present, rapper. Which, 17-year-old white upper middle class rapper from Wyndham, I'm not going to make fun of him for that. I'm going to make fun of him for thinking somehow that's an applicable enough skill set to put on a resume. Like, who is he applying to? Is he applying to gangs? Do gangs get really corporate? I don't know much about gangs. Like, maybe the Crips are out recruiting right now. Like, hey, yo, we're looking for an ice-cold gangster who doesn't have a problem busting a cap in someone's ass and who's got at least 6 to 10 months experience working with QuickBooks Pro in a fast-paced, competitive working environment. Interested parties get at me at BigDaddyYayo@Crips.net, because it's the hood, they don't have a .com. Yeah, it's tough getting older. I got a lot of friends who are also adults, and they're having kids, And I can never imagine having a kid. Like, I don't know how to raise a kid, what you should show a kid on TV. I was at my friend's house the other day. He had his kid watching Dora the Explorer. Have you ever watched Dora the Explorer? If you haven't seen it, I'll tell you what it is. It's a show about a lonely Hispanic girl walking through the woods by herself, talking to her backpack. They say it's about learning. It's about schizophrenia. You know why they don't make a live-action version of it? Because that would just show how terrifying it really is. You know, swipe or no swiping's not going to save you this time. I'm not good at being an adult. I was way better at being a kid. I was better at getting kid jobs, better at kid romance. Like, I remember the most romantic thing you could do as a kid was give a girl a note that said, "From your secret admirer." And that was adorable when you were 7. When you were 7, secret admirer notes were adorable. When you're 24, secret admirer notes get you a restraining order. That was the most romantic thing you can do when you're 7. Women were like, where are all the real romantics? We're at least 150 yards away at all times, right where the law requires us to be. In your neighbor's backyard with binoculars, breathing heavy in the rain. Hey, thanks a lot, everyone. My name's Matt Barry.